Hello, Assalamu alaikum students. How are you? Today we are going to start our A-levels paper 32, inshallah. So let's see your paper. Okay, this is your paper. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now see class. This is your paper. November 2019, paper 32, A2. This is our first question. The directors of Z Limited have produced a draft income statement for the year ended 30th June 2019. The following remaining balances have been extracted from the books of account. Okay. Now, during the year 30, the following transaction had occurred in respect of non-current assets. Okay. Now, see the requirement. The first requirement says calculate the cost of accumulated depreciation and the net book value for each class of non-current asset on 30th June 2018. It means 1 year before this financial statement or this trial balance. You have to make that table in required A, and you have to compute the value of non-current assets 1 year before this trial balance. This trial balance is made on 30th June 2019, and you have to take out what was the amount of asset on 30th June 2018. So this is a table we have to fill. Okay. Now, freehold property. See, freehold property on 2019, 30th June 2019 is 525,000. Here it is. 525,000. This is the amount. Getting my point clear? So 525,000 is the value of freehold property at valuation. Now see, the freehold property had been revalued from its original cost of $360,000. So this year, between 2018 and 19, the freehold property has been revalued. So it means at the start of the year on 30th June 2018, the value of leasehold property must be $360,000. Are you getting my point clear? $360,000. Accumulated depreciation, nil. So why nil? Because freehold property, they don't charge depreciation on freehold property. Getting my point clear? So nil, and so net book value would be $360,000. 1 year back. Getting my point clear? Okay. Now, next item. Plant and machinery. So what we have to do, first we have to see plant and machinery, value of plant and machinery. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, see, plant and machinery at cost. This is at cost is how much? $386,000 at cost. Now, and this is the depreciation. Okay. This is the depreciation. Okay. Now see, what we have to do 1 year back, what was happening? Plant and machinery total is 386,800. Okay. Now changes. New machinery had been purchased for 43,000 minus 43,000. Because this machinery 43,000, this one was purchased on purchased during the year. So it is going to be deducted. Okay. Machinery that had originally cost 2,200, which had been fully depreciated, was scrapped. Now the machine which has been fully depreciated by 2,200, that should be added into 386,800 minus 43,000 plus 2,200 because at the start of the year that machinery was part of recorded or was part of accounting records. Okay. So total is 346,000 cost 1 year back. 346,000. Now come to motor vehicles. This is the cost of motor vehicles. $240,000 cost of motor vehicles. Okay, so $240,000 done. Now adjustments during the year. A motor vehicle had been purchased at a total cost of 36,000 minus 36,000. Okay, the cost had been settled by the payment of okay. The part exchange motor vehicle originally cost 24,000. Now 36,000 was purchased during the year, so it should be subtracted. 24,000 was sold during the year, so this is going to be added plus 24,000. So the value is $228,000. $228,000. Done. Okay. Now come to accumulated depreciation of plant and machinery. This is at the end of the year 30th June 2019, 200,500. Done. So see now from machinery we have scrapped one of the machinery 2,200. So that scrapped provision was part of the accounting records 1 year back. So we have to add 2,200. Done? Getting my point clear? Now, and this one. Now we have to add back this depreciation of plant and machinery, 20,700. So that could make 200, 500 minus plus 2200 minus 20,700. The answer is 182,000. So it means 182,000 was the depreciation of plant and machinery 1 year back. 182,000. So what was the book value then? 346,000 minus 182,000. The book value is 164,000. Done. Now, motor vehicles. The provision for depreciation of motor vehicles. Somewhere else. Provision for depreciation motor vehicles is here. This is here. $147,000 motor vehicles as cost. Sorry, motor vehicles depreciation 147,000. Okay, so 147,000. Then, okay. Now depreciation for the year of motor vehicles. How much? Oh, it was given on the next previous page. It was 59,000. That was 59,000. So minus 59,000. Okay, done. And the machine, which was the motor vehicle, which was exchanged, its depreciation was 10,000. When we are exchanging, the old machine depreciation is going to be removed from provision for depreciation. Now we have to add back because it was part of accounting records 1 year back. 10,000, that would make 98,000. Getting my point clear? So here we will write 98,000. Okay, so what would the book value? 228 minus 98, answer is 130,000. So this is it. Done? Okay. Now this was required 1. Okay. Now required 2, required A, sorry. Required B, The directors have decided the following adjustment should be made to the financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2019 before they are finalized. Irrecoverable debts of 18,000 should be written off. Prepaid expenses amounted to 25,000. Value of closing inventory should be increased by $6,000. Now, these all three decisions which directors have decided that they have taken, these decisions have great impact on retained earnings. Getting my point clear? Now, see, we don't know the amount of profit here. We don't know the amount of profit over here. Do we know the amount of profit here? No. We don't know the amount of profit. So, what we do, we know what is the amount of retained earnings. This is 46,000. So, this amount, we have to be very much careful about this amount. Are you getting my point here? All these decisions which directors have taken will directly impact retained earnings. So, don't forget. Now, in this question paper, I do not have place because I have insert of this question, but I do not have the question paper separate in 2019. So what I'll do, I'll make the balance sheet in my document. Okay. So I'm going to the new share. This is my new sharing. What we'll do, we'll make a balance sheet here. Now we'll make a balance sheet over here. They've asked for a balance sheet. So we are going to make a balance sheet over here. We will draw the balance sheet like this. So this is the balance sheet. Okay. Now the first heading in balance sheet is non-current assets. Okay. So there will be no change in the non-current asset. Non-current asset will be reported as it is. Okay. Now see, this is the heading non-current asset. Now see, the first non-current asset according to our balance sheet. Where is the balance sheet? Oh my God, the T is wonderful. मजा आ गया. You know, oh, okay. Now, total non-current asset 804,300 and inventory is 69,000 plus 6,000. The value of closing inventory is going to increase. So that would be 75,000. Done. Now, second current asset, trade receivables, trade and other receivables, trade and other receivables. This is how much? 86,200. Done. 86,200. Adjustment C minus 18,000. Minus 18,000 irrecoverable debt. Okay. And plus 25,000 for prepaids. So that would make 86,200 minus 18,000 plus 25,000. The answer is 93,200. 93,200. Okay. Then we have cash and equivalents. Cash and cash equivalents. How much? 116,300. There is no change in that. 116,300. So altogether, total current assets would be here 75,000 plus 93,200 plus 116,300, 284,500. 284,500 is the total amount of total current assets. Total current assets. Done. Now, total assets. Total assets. We have 284,500 is current asset and 804,300 is non-current asset. So total 1,088,800. Okay, 1,088,800. 108800 is your total assets. Okay. Done. Okay. Now come to the heading current liabilities. Current liabilities. So current liabilities. Next heading. We have current liabilities, trade and other payables, 64,800. Trade and other payables. Trade and other payables. So that would be how much? 64,800. There is no adjustment for them. 64,800. Done. So what we do, we should write it in the, because we don't need to add anything. So we are reporting directly in the second column. Okay. Now next heading, long-term liabilities. Long-term liabilities. Long-term liabilities. We have a debenture payable. Yes. Okay. 8% debentures. And it is going to be reported directly in the second column because we don't need to add anything. 250,000. Okay. Long-term liabilities. Okay. Now, shareholders' equity. Okay. This heading. Shareholders' equity. Now, shareholders equity, what we have to what we are going to write. Okay, first is capital. Capital is how much? Ordinary share of $1 each. Ordinary share of $1 each. Done. There's a mistake. Done. Okay. Ordinary share of $1 each is how much? $500,000. Done. Then retained earnings. Okay. Retained earnings is going to each and every adjustment. There were 3 adjustments. Retained earnings was how much? 46,000 minus minus 18,000 for irrecoverable debts. Getting my point clear? Okay. Increase in closing inventory means your profit is going to increase. Increase in closing inventory means decreasing your cost, increasing your profits. Okay. And increasing in prepaids means your profit is also increasing. Getting my point clear? So 46,000 minus 18,000 plus 6,000 plus 25,000. The answer is 59,000. Okay? Okay. Now, 46,000 minus 18,000 plus 6,000 plus 25,000. The answer is 59,000. Okay? Retained earnings. Okay. 59,000. 59,000 retained earnings. Okay. What else in the shareholders? Here is the question. Okay. Question. What else? Revaluation is of 165,000. Revaluation reserve 165,000. 165,000 revaluation reserve. Okay. Anything else? Share premium 50,000. Share premium 65,000. Done. So what's wrong with the spelling of revaluation? So total shareholders equity would be how much? 500,000 500,000 plus 59,000 plus 165,000 plus 65,000. So this is 700 so share premium is 50,000. Oh, sorry. Minus 50. So that is 774. Total shareholders equity 774,000. Done. Total shareholders. Okay. So total equities. How much? That must be equal to 1088. Okay. 108800. 64,800 plus 250,000 plus 774,000. Okay, it's done. 1,88,800. Done. This is the balance sheet. Okay. Now move to our question. The directors of Z Limited wish to raise $1 million for expansion. They are considering the following two ways of raising the necessary finance. Issue a further 8% debentures for the full amount of funds required, or make an offer of a right issue at a premium of $0.5 per share. Now, advise the director which method of raising the finance they should use. Use any ratios as appropriate to support your answer. Now, here is the problem is gearing. The thing is when you have to decide between equity and debts or liabilities, you have to use gearing ratio. Okay? Getting my point clear? Okay. Now see, if we are okay, if we are wishing to raise $1 million through debentures or right issue. Okay, this is the thing. Now see, if we issue debentures of 1 million, the total debentures would be 12 million and 1,250,000. $1,250,000 your total debentures. Okay, 1,250,000. Okay, if you issue share, your share capital will be increased by 1 million. Now come to CR income statement. Okay, see, capital employed now is how much? 774,000 plus long-term liabilities, $250,000. So total long-term liabilities is how much? $774,000 plus $250,000, $1,224,000. This is your total capital employed at present. Okay, before making any decision, this is your capital employed from these records. Done. Now, option 1, if you issuing share, at this time, if we calculate the gearing, okay, if we calculate the gearing, so what is the gearing at this time? Gearing is equal to $250,000. Okay, $250,000 divided by 1024, 1,024,000. Okay, 1,024,000. Sorry, $24,000 divided by, multiply by 100. Okay, so what is the gearing now? This time 250,000, the total debentures currently, divided by capital employed 1,024,000, percentage 24.41% is gearing. 0.41% is your gearing at present. Getting my point clear? At this time. Now, if you issue debentures, what will happen? Your capital employed would be 774,000 is your share capital, shareholders equity, plus $1,250,000 is your debentures. So your gearing would be $1,250,000. Okay, and your total capital employed here is 774 plus 1250, 2,224,000. Now, okay. Multiply by 100. So, after issuing debentures for 1 million, your gearing would be how much? 1250, 1,250,000 total liabilities, and your capital employed is 2,024,000 percentage. 61.75% is your gearing. That is not good. Very alarming. Okay. Instead of issuing debentures, if we issue shares, what will happen? Our capital employed would be 774 plus 1 million. 1 million for the shares plus your liability 250,000. So your capital employed would be the same, but your gearing because of shares. Now this time capital employed is increasing because of total shareholder equity is increasing by 1 million, not the liabilities. So your gearing would be $250,000 divided by 2,024,000 multiply by 100, and your gearing would be how much? $250,000 divided by 2024 0.000%, 12.35%. So according to gearing, increasing your liability is not a good option. Your capital employed is increasing in both the situations with the same amount, but your gearing is decreasing. So it's better to issue right shares at a premium of 0.5. But the problem is it might not be subscribed by the people or by the other shareholders. They will not pay. Okay. Even then, underwriting is another option. We can issue shares to the underwriters also. This is an option available. And we are not bound to pay dividend anyhow. But issuing shares means we have to pay interest anyhow, whether we are profit or not in the coming years. And we have to redeem the bonds just one day. Are you getting my point here? We have to redeem the shares. We don't need to redeem the shares. But debentures we have to redeem 5 years, 10 years, whatever the date. We have to redeem the shares. And we have to set aside a lot of amount to redeem the debentures. So issuing of debentures is not a good option in this situation. Are you getting my point clear? Okay. Now come to question number 2. Lime is a trader based in Ireland. He drafted income statement for the year 31st December 2013 or 2018. Revenue, inventory, purchase goods on consignment, inventory, cost of sale, gross profit, profit on consignment, distribution cost, administration. During the year, Liam sent 1,000 machines with a cost of $50 to his agent Clarissa in Puerto Rico, where they had a selling price of $80. By the end of the year, only 750 machines had been sold. Liam had paid $4,000 to ship machines to Puerto Rico. He had in error entered in this in his carriage outwards account and included it in his distribution cost instead of entering in the consignment account. Answer the following questions. The question paper questions are printed here for reference only. Okay. Now explain the effect of this error on the profit on consignment. Now, profit in, see, the expenses are of consignment are understated by 4,000. This 4,000 amount is going to be spread over 1,000 machines. So the ending inventory of 250 machines do not include the amount of the shipment, which is 1,000 for 250 machines. So your inventory is going to increase by 1,000, okay, and the profit of the consignment is going to decrease by 3,000. Done. Explain the effect of this year on the profit for the year. Now, your distribution cost is increased by 4,000, so you have to decrease the distribution cost by 4,000. Okay. And you have to decrease the profit on consignment by 3,000. Okay. It means you have to increase your profit by 1,000. Getting my point clear? This is the problem. Okay. Now, Clarisica was entered to a commission equal to 10% sheet paid import duty of $2,000 when the goods arrive in Puerto Rico. Prepare the consignment account 31st December 2018 with the error corrected. So what we are going to do, we are going to make a consignment account over here, and because we don't have place, so we are using this one. This is our consignment account. Now, first is your goods on consignment. So that is 1,000 machines by $50 means 50,000. He sold 80 machines. So revenue would be 750 machines multiplied by $80. So 750 by 80 means $60,000 is your revenue. Done? Okay. Now, here's a question. Okay. We have to rectify with this 4,000 shipment. So consignment debit, bank credit, 4,000. That amount which was erroneously entered into distribution cost. Okay, we are rectifying it. Now, the duty paid by Clarisica, that is going to be added in our account. Clarissa. So 2,000 consignment account debit, but we have not yet paid the Clarissa. So we owe to Clarissa 2,000 for this amount. Achha, what about commission? Commission is how much? 10% of sales. So 6,000 is commission. Done? Okay. Now, income statement. And before that, we have to carry balance. We have to decrease our income that was 15,000 to 12,000. So what would be the amount of now total here 50,000 plus 4,000 plus 2,000 plus 6,000. Answer is 62,000. Plus 4,000 plus 2,000 plus 6,000. 74. Okay, 74,000 minus 60,000. So balance CD here is 14,000. Okay, so here we get 74,000. Done. So balance BD in consignment is 14,000. Getting my point here? Okay. Now, what next? Calculate the correct value of inventory. Now, the value of inventory is 32,500, which is given in the question. Yes, closing inventory 32,500 plus 14,000 inventory of in consignment 14,000. So your total value of inventory would be how much? 32,500 plus 14,000. Answer is $46,500. $46,500. Done? Getting my point clear? Okay. Now 2D. Now, if Lime has the opportunity to enter into another consignment country which is much closer, the machine could only be sold for $74 each. Even the selling price is 50 and $74 selling price means we can earn profit. Okay. And if sales in other countries are maintained, the profit will increase. Achha. We will enter into a new market. Okay. And transportation cost would be low because the country is very near. You might not be you might be using road transport which is cheaper than sea transport or something like this, or low rate of commission can be negotiated with the new agent in the new country. So there are so many things you can mention over here. Okay, what's next? Explain the difference between agent in a consignment and party in a joint venture. Agent in a consignment is not will not hold the title of the goods. First thing, he is only interested or entitled for commission only. He has to work under the instructions of the principal because he is agent. But joint venture means, achha, we are not going to share profit with the agent. He will get only commission. But in joint venture, we have to share profits. They are part of decision making. They are like partners with us. So joint venture is different from consignment account. Okay. Question number 2. Okay. Now we are moving to question number 3. Question number 3 means we will do it tomorrow, inshallah. So that's all for today. Okay. So today it's all for today. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll do the question number 3 and 4, and we'll keep the sequence, inshallah. So you are requested to subscribe my channel, and I'm ready for suggestions. I'm trying my level best to give you solutions of past papers of O levels and A levels as much as I can before your October attempt, inshallah. So take care. Allah Hafiz.